So tell me a little bit about how this whole project got started and upfront issues with the street that nobody's going to hear right away.
Well, we had initially, back in the early 2000s, Thomas Street was supposed to be basically from the river all the way to 17th. At some point before my time, the city decided to break it into two separate phases. Obviously, this year we're constructing phase one, which is 4th to 17th. And so the alternative or the phase that we're looking at right now is basically from 4th to the river. And it's kind of twofold. One is condition of the pavement, condition of the utilities underneath the road is driving the project. And we're also looking at traffic flow along Thomas Street. How do we improve it? Because it is a main artery through the city, basically from east to west.
And so we got two plans, 2 lanes and 4 lanes.
Correct. And so tonight we're trying to get some public input on, whether people prefer the 4-lane option, whether they prefer a 2-lane option. Just to give people an example, the 2-lane option is really going to mirror what phase 1 is going to be. And so it'll have a center line median. It'll have 2 lanes of traffic with left-hand turn lanes in it to help improve the traffic flow. And it also reduces the amount of property in certain areas that the city would need to acquire.
And where will the city go after this meeting tonight then?
We're going to compile all the comments and the information and bring it to the Capital Improvement Street Maintenance Committee meeting. Kind of give a short presentation there on what comments we've received, some of the feedback that we've received on both of these alternatives. And we're hoping that the committee then will make a decision whether they want to stay with the 2-lane or whether they want to expand to the 4-lane. And then we can actually, from that point, then get started on a plat map of what we need, establishing for property acquisitions. We can hire somebody so we can kind of start that process this fall.
And what kind of feedback has the city received so far?
So far, it's kind of been mixed, but I think from the majority of the residents anyway, a lot of them want to reduce the size of the road, and so from their perspective, at least from what I've heard, more of a 2-lane option versus the 4-lane. And we'll have to see how the committee feels about that as well.
Has there been any feedback in terms of the acquisition of those houses and different buildings along the path?
Yeah, some of the residents are concerned about the acquisitions. I think a little bit is how does that process work? And it is a lengthy process. It's a 12 to 18 month process. So once a city comes in and determines that we need a portion of that property, if we have to do a full taking, which would be the home and the property, then additional negotiations happen as far as relocation, expenses, and those types of things. But it is a lengthy process, and through the condemnation process with the state.
And what's really the timetable for the project right now?
Right now, if we can get into property acquisition starting this fall, around November timeframe, we're hoping to move into construction in 2019.
And when should we know which plan is going to be in effect?
It's going to be at our, tentatively right now, it really depends on when the committee wants to make a decision. And so we'll present the information in the July SISM meeting, and if they feel inclined to make a decision, we'll have it then, or we'll bring it back in August if they want more information.